All right, looks like we are live. GM, everyone, thank you for joining us today, tuning into the latest vibe coding session with Avail. For those of you who missed our last session, we basically built an NFT collection live on stream. For this session, we're going to take those NFTs, we're going to mint them and make them available for claim on Sophon using Mintify, which is Sophon's NFT tool. We're going to play with attributes, we're going to play with rarity, and at the end of the session, we'll make the NFTs available for claim and mint. First come, first serve. So, be ready and be here to, be able to claim it. And for today's episode, I want to introduce our very special guests. We've got Jake, who is the COO of Mintify. We've got Gio, who is partner success lead at Sophon. And of course, our wonderful Christine and Scott, who are joining us today, as they do every week, to add some, enthusiasm and vibe coding savvy to this session. And so let's get started.
All right. Well, I'm going to present my screen. I'm just going to hop right into it, which will be pretty exciting. So we have some fun things to share with you guys today. Jake, who's on the line, is from Mintify. And if you hadn't met him, he's super amazing. And he has all of these amazing prompts for what we tried to do last week, but super easy and streamlined. So last week, if you were with us, we went ahead and tried to create our own NFT generator, which bombed horribly. We tried to use Illustrator, which was cute, but it also created some really interesting figures. So obviously we aren't designers here, but we tried. And then we used OneMint, which was pretty sleek. It was pretty awesome and allowed us to create those puffles that we're going to mint today. And we're going to use Mintify to do it. But I want to backtrack because what Jake showed me last week just blew my mind on how you can create your own NFTs. And let me show you what that looks like here. So I have these NFT layers. So when you're creating an NFT, a lot of times you got to create the layers for it where you're able to layer all the images. And I have some head pieces here. I have some eyes, which is super cool. And then what we're able to do from here is if I come here, I'm going to move this folder over into Cursor. If you've been with us before, you've already seen us use Cursor many, many times, but we have a Prompt Engineer Pro on the line. Jake, do you want to talk about your prompt a little bit? Because I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Can you hear me all right, first of all?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
Great. Yeah, so Cursor and, primarily, Cursor is what I've used and, what some friends of mine and, other people in the industry that I'm familiar with have been using. But there are other applications, but specifically for Cursor, it's really great to be very concise and put together, pretty much a single prompt that can take care of a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of, assembling all of the trait layers from the individual trait images and applying rarity to them, and then further assembling the metadata files for each of those images based on the traits that were used. So it can handle pretty much the entire process in one go. You'll see that there are a couple things that you have to take into second or third prompts, but most of the heavy lifting is taken care of in pretty much one go, which is really great. Very, very convenient. Obviously, I need to mute my phone. But yeah, so this prompt has worked great over a dozen times, and I know other people that have used this as well. Very similar format. So I think you guys are gonna really like how it plays out.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to show you. And for context, I think your phone chime was the perfect, just sparkle to what you were saying.
It's muted. It's muted.
Okay, awesome. So what we're going to do is I'm going to run this prompt that Jake provided, and it describes exactly what you said. If you have the layers, and you can obviously use AI to generate some of these layers, start from scratch, or you can use Photoshop if you're really versed with Photoshop. But ideally, if you have these layers, what you're then able to do is simply have Cursor create a script that's going to layer them and generate these NFTs all in one go. And you can have the script generate 10 or 100. It'll also create the JSON that you're going to need. And then what's really cool is that if you haven't created your own rarities file, after you create the images, you can be okay, this isn't rare enough. Let me go ahead and create a rarities file. So I'll show you what that looks like. So we're going to do a few prompts here. But as this goes, you're familiar with Cursor by now from all of our previous sessions. It's going ahead and in that file. One thing that Jake reminded me of, which is, anytime that AI is doing something, it can hallucinate. And so it's always good to just sort of check the work, whether it's just, lightly checking. We don't have to read everything line by line, but at least the output. We can see whether or not things are layered properly or incorrectly. And then, of course, just use AI to modify that. But you see here it's creating a few files, it's creating the requirements. Looks like we're dealing in Python, which is going to be new for us because historically we've always done everything with Next.js and a little bit of Tailwind and mostly like front end stuff. But this is going to be a Python script to create those NFTs. So let's see if we're able to run this. All right. Looks like we're running into some issues. So it's going to go ahead and create a virtual environment for me. And for those that are beginners here, what's great is, again, you are not the one coding this. We're going to have AI doing all the coding and checking to see whether things are working. And so just like that, it was able to realize that my system wasn't quite set up for Python because we haven't really used it before and make the proper edits here. And so here we go. Looks like we're super close to running this script, and give it just a sec. All right, we're going to copy. All right.
Do you think there's a reason why it chose Python this time around?
Python was well, I'm not sure if you've used others, I'm not sure if it's syncing with the rest of your your code. I believe you have like an isolated environment for this, so it might just be using whatever it deems is most efficient. I don't even think it's really thinking in terms of, it's not thinking at all. I don't think it's even operating really in terms of that. It's probably just figured that is like the most straightforward way of going about it.
Yeah. And I think that goes back to before. I know for those just joining us, like one of the things that we've set before are the rules. So if we wanted to set a rule to say, hey, we want to make sure that we're only using a specific language, we could have done that, Scott. And so I just let it just do whatever it deemed was going to be the fastest way to get us to from 0 to 1. And it looks like Python was it, which I'm not sad. I didn't have to write the code. AI did. And now we have these images, and looks like it did the layering okay. So not sad about this. But let's see if we can have it create a rarities file. So can you create a rarities CSV and take that into account here. Okay. Here's how we proceed. It's going to go through all of that, but in the meantime, Jake, what do you think? Is this looking pretty much what you would need in order to mint something like this on your side?
Sorry, I muted myself. It's looking great. Who am I hearing? I'm hearing something. Okay, yeah. So it looks great. Images are all centered and everything. They're all following the same formatting. So that looks good. Then as for the JSON file, if you want to tab back there, it had all of the trait attributes. Yep. So there's all of the trait attributes. You see a description. You have the image field that's ready for us to upload to IPFS and input that, and then you have the name. So this has everything that you need to begin finalizing your assembly of the JSON files.
Okay, cool. Well, there you have it. So those that were here with us last week, you can see that we were able to finally be successful with creating these NFTs within Cursor. So thanks, Jake, for the help here. And then one last thing that we're going to have it run is just let's see if we can have it do the rarities portion, which looks like it did. And I actually asked it to separate it because it was a bit much to have to keep going back and forth between the JSON. It looked pretty cluttered. So now we have something that's a little bit more streamlined. We have all of these puffles now generated, which is super cool. And yeah, so we'll share the prompt with the community. Hopefully, Jake, you don't mind, and you can definitely try this out on your own. See if you can generate some NFTs. And I highly recommend reaching out to the Mintify team, seeing if you get your NFTs on there. Sophon is a great platform, blockchain, as well as Mintify, amazing team to work with. So this might be a good opportunity to onboard there.
Absolutely, yeah. We can very easily, and we're very happy to support drops. Sophon is honestly a really great chain with an awesome team. Cannot recommend enough to if you're building something to reach out and see if they're see if you can work with them. Really great team with a super fast and accessible chain, and we're very happy to help support any kind of NFT launches and whatnot on Sophon. Of course, they are also using Paymaster, so I believe for lots of mints you don't even have to pay gas.
Awesome, I love it. Love it.
So Jake, let me ask you, right now we're doing this really cool vibe coding session. We're having AI generate all these NFTs. What was this process like before vibe coding, before we had the AI, right? How would people go about and basically create these combination of NFTs?
Ooh, that's a good question. Does anyone have any idea on how that had to?
Yeah, absolutely. I keep muting myself. I just want to make sure that there's no background noise. Yeah, no, great question. Absolutely. So what people, typically did, I guess there's two main pathways that people took initially. Is one using like an NFT generator website that you provide all the layers and it assembles everything and spits out the JSON for you. Which was probably the more common one, just because it's very accessible and those are all like drag and drop elements. And then the other is like programmatic assembly. So basically doing what Cursor is doing here. But the user had to actually code everything. So it was definitely either more expensive, having to pay for to use one of those platforms, or required some kind of lighter or development knowledge to be able to assemble everything, track and map all the traits and everything, and then assemble that to your JSON files. So really, Cursor has made it incredibly accessible, is really what it comes down to. And again, Cursor's not the only one, but it is the one that I personally can recommend.
All right. So that's 2 points for Cursor. I know there are some Windsurfer users out there as well. Me personally, I live in Cursor. I tried a few of the other ones, Edgar, and they work just fine. But once you're kind of in a system, it's hard to switch unless it's exponentially better. And Cursor does a really great job with everything. So definitely double down on what Jake has to say about that. If I had to comment on the image generation, I think now is the perfect time to launch NFTs, because you have all of the AI image generators out there, right? Before, everyone had to create this from scratch. There wasn't a lot of help on automatically creating an example and then having another platform create various different variations of that same background or accessory or headpiece. And so it's almost as if we kind of missed the perfect overlap window. It should have been nice for NFT craze from what was it 2020, 2021 to have converged with now. So who knows? Maybe it'll make a comeback with all of the amazing creative ways that you can create these NFTs.
Yeah, I think it's only gonna get crazier, and people are gonna start building dedicated front ends that they vibe coded to build NFTs for people that don't even want to vibe code it. It's definitely gonna get crazy, and everything's only gonna become more accessible. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways from everything that AI is bringing to the table. It's making everything that wasn't very accessible super easy for people that don't have that technical experience to tackle.
Yes. I do wonder how much of a blocker that was for creatives, right? Because much of the 2021 NFT craze was driven by really high quality design. We saw it with a lot of collections, but there was always that blocker, right? That technical person that you needed to launch this collection. So I'm wondering how the creative community is going to take the tools we have now and basically do it on their own. I wonder if there's going to be a difference in quality, if we're going to see an increase in participation. So it should all be pretty exciting to see.
Sounds good. But, once you create the NFTs, there's still a little bit of work that has to be done. So after this, you have to host it. And there's various hosting solutions out there. IPFS and Pinata still seems to be the de facto solution for being able to host these NFTs. And what's great is that if you remember from like IPFS and Pinata, like in the early days, like it was easy to use, but now it's even easier to use. And so I think the progression of where they've come as like a project is absolutely amazing to see. And I'll show my account just because it's super simple here. And let me go ahead and not show all of my lovely bookmarks. But what you can see here is that, it's really easy to upload entire folders or entire individual images or JSON. You can create these amazing groups to like really help with like segmentation here. But all in all, like this is really, helpful and exciting now to be able to just like launch super fast. And just to show you just like how easy it is just to do, I'll just go ahead and do this for you. So you upload it, and just like that, I can assign it to a group. We're done. a lot the smoother of an experience, I think, now for NFT generators. And like now when you pair like Cursor AI with Pinata and IPFS and Mintify and Sophon, you have your full stack to get launched. And I think that is just like mind blowing, just how much can just be like streamlined for you here. And then once you have this, like the Mintify team, they definitely have their process, and Jake, I'll let you like go into that like as deep as you want for like getting that up on like their platforms. That way you can allow people to like mint these NFTs or gain access to the NFTs once they're launched.
Absolutely. Would you mind just sending me over those image and JSON files that you just generated?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send these over. And in the meantime, Edgar, I'm going to take some time to do that. Do we have anything else that we wanted to like chat about? I think like with the Sophon team.
Yeah. I mean, just wanted to go around and hear, if anyone has an NFT story, right? I think from the last bear market or last bull market, we all, used NFTs to some extent. Some of us were onboarded with NFTs. I know a lot of people that went that path. Some of us got rugged, others held from 30K to zero or almost zero. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear, maybe we start with Jake. Do you have a crazy NFT story?
Got many crazy NFT stories. I guess one of the most unexpected, I guess, was like when I first got into NFTs and I was in some Discord server of that this project is long gone. They definitely do not exist anymore. I don't even remember the name of it. Definitely doesn't exist anymore. In fact, I'm pretty sure they were rugging in like real time while I was in the Discord. And I remember like the mint was super hyped and everybody's like, I'm trying to mint. And there was some guy just like in the Discord server sharing a fake link, and I minted. I minted on the fake link. This was like a week or two into NFTs back in late 2021. Very happy to say I don't think I've ever done anything like that again. So I definitely learned my lesson. It was a hard lesson to learn. It was probably like $100 or so that I lost. So it wasn't anything detrimental by any means. But it was definitely a lesson learned to be careful. And that kind of trickles into a little bit like what we're doing now, not necessarily with the scam, but to be exceptionally careful, because the AI is very, very great at what it does, but it's also great at not realizing when it's messing up. So you need to be paying attention. Like, you don't need necessarily the technical knowledge to understand, but you do need to like know like where you are and what your goal is, so that you can be like, if it's obviously messing up and doing something wrong, you need to stop it and correct it so that it moves, in the right direction. Now, for granted, the simpler things like this usually don't require too much back and forth. It's a pretty straightforward action for it to complete. But yeah, I don't know. That always comes to mind when people ask, like, have you ever gotten scammed or rugged, or like, what's your craziest story? It's definitely funny because it was not expected. I was like, where's my NFT? And that's when I learned about scams. But yeah, as I said, there's so many more as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing you learned the easy way, I guess. I think there's been quite a few people out there who, have 5 Bored Apes and they've got them, stolen or doodles or whatever it may be. So not a bad way to learn a hard lesson.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Scott, how about you? Any crazy NFT stories?
No crazy NFT stories. Certainly none to rival that one from Jake. I was wondering though, should I start pulling up Sophon and setting up an account there?
Yeah, let's
Should
do
we
it.
move into that stage? So let me just pull up my screen here. So
And
I'm gonna
Scott,
go.
you're gonna show folks how great and easy it is to use Sophon's UI, right?
This is the idea. Yeah. So I'm
Nice.
gonna start here from the Sophon homepage. Um, and then I might get Gio to sort of just talk me through what we're going to do, and then I can start doing it in real time.
Absolutely. Guys, it's a pleasure to be with all these great people. So you are on sophon.xyz. Can you, now I forgot how to get to home. Can you go to app.sophon.xyz?
Was that up?
Yes, exactly. Which is, yes, it's actually explore there. I'm stupid. If you, sorry, go back. You can just, I will make it easy. It's just the explore button on the top right. So this is our home page and like place where we want to showcase all the applications, games, possibilities that users have on software, like everything that we can do. And we are creating, like we're working on our own Sophon global wallet so that users have a shared login across the whole ecosystem. You can try it on the top right with login.
Cool.
So now you can enter your own email or use Gmail, Twitter, Telegram, Discord login, or use your existing hardware wallet.
Yeah, it's cool to see the evolution of like going from using only your keys and wallet to now having, Google integrated into these systems. It'll make it a lot easier for sure.
Yeah, we don't want to onboard users and have to teach them about crypto. This was a pain that we had to suffer in the past, but we want the people coming to have to do it just because we did it. So now we want people to be able to log in with their Google account, for example, and to be linked to the same address across the all applications on Sophon. And also we want it to be modular so people can always like remove the the Google signer and add their own hardware wallet, for example. So they can, this wallet can grow with them if they start becoming more crypto savvy, for example. So now
So,
it looks.
have I just really quickly? So I've obviously gone in here and I've created an account. So what have I got here? Have I created a a new wallet on Sophon network? Is that what we have here?
You did. Now, if you click on the top right, you will see the wallet icon. So now
Okay, cool.
this is the address that you created, and this is a smart wallet that now as a signer your email login. But you can remove it and use an hardware wallet or add a social recovery or add a passkey as a signer. So now this address, but this smart wallet that you see now is already deployed for you, and this is what will accompany you. And we are also releasing the Sophon ID, so you will be able to add, let's say, scott.soft.id as your identifier on the
Oh,
chain.
cool. Nice.
And once you mint NFT, you will be able to see, and I hope it's right because we just released this for this stream, the asset on your NFT tab.
Can I just comment on how smooth this is? And thank you
Yes,
guys
really.
for putting such an amazing effort on just like usability. I feel like that's been missing for so long.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
And Sophon is the consumer, crypto chain, right? So they've got to make it easy on consumers, and this is beautiful, in my opinion.
So can
Thank
I
you so
just go
much.
in and start using these things in theory?
Yeah, sure. You can go to SyncSwap, for example, which is our DEX, and be able to connect with Sophon wallet. And
Awesome.
we are also using the paymaster for a lot of basic transactions, so users can do things and try things out without having Soph, which is our gas token. So you can, for example, use tokens, send them, swap them, or mint and transfer NFTs without having any gas on your wallet. So,
Very
and
cool.
thank you for the nice words. We have really nice designers and front-end developers, but we also have a lot of dreams and things coming our way that we want to show to users.
Yeah, no, it's refreshing to see this. I think I'm just having like nightmares thinking about the old way of doing things, and happy we're like at this stage, right? Because like it shows like natural progress, especially with new innovations, which start out clunky and over time they get smooth. But it's hard to see that on the day to day, right? So when you finally see it, like it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And also, shameless Avail plug. Avail is all behind all of this, which is really awesome.
Avail inside.
Cool.
But
How are we
Gio,
going, guys?
Gio, a quick question for you. Did you want to, quickly plug the nameless NFT collection that's, I think, debuting tomorrow, or can you tell us more
It
about that?
is, yeah, it's tomorrow. So we have some kind of NFT summer coming on Sophon, starting big with Nameless. We are really happy to partner with them. Please check the communications and our official channels on Twitter and Discord as we will announce more. But yeah, super excited about this mint coming on Mintify tomorrow.
Nice,
Yeah, I'm
nice. So
personally, I'm looking forward to all of these Sophon drops. Some really, really incredible collections that are coming. Great art, great lore, solid teams that are behind them. And we're actually going to be good to go with this in just a minute or two.
Awesome. Thanks, Jake, for working on that in the background. Getting these NFTs live.
So how is Christine, the file that you generated earlier? So we had the prompt that basically said, create this NFT collection, do these things. We had these separate layers that were basically image files, weren't they? They were like layered, like PNG, clear-cut PNGs. And then you just fed those to Cursor, and it just, and you told them how many you wanted, and it just generated the collection. Is that more or less what happened?
Yeah, so hindsight's 2020. I should have told it how many I wanted.
Okay.
Instead, it guessed.
How many did it give you?
It created 50. So
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. We can still just use 10.
Yeah, we're still gonna use 10. But yeah, the files, the way Jake instructed me is like the layers need to be transparent, and that way they can like layer like properly. And what was fun is I actually found some example traits like online. There was a guy who had a repo that did like squirrels, and I pulled that down and tried that out, and it was pretty cool. But there were so many different layers where if you don't give it the proper instructions, like Jake has in like his prompts, it'll go off and do its own thing and its own pairing. And so you have the hands all the way behind the body, and it doesn't turn out well. So those are the AI hallucinations and errors that will happen along the way. But I think what was pretty cool is that those are easily fixable. It's like, hey, you did this wrong. Please layer this according to like this path, and then it goes off and does it properly. Creating those layers was probably the hardest part. So I think if I had like a wish list, it would be cool to see like a crypto project where you're able to mint and then also like have like some other like platforms where you can create those different layers easily. Because I think the problem with when I was trying to create those with AI is that if once you send off the first prompt and you say, hey, modify this, it will come back with a completely different style, a completely different layer, and it doesn't quite create that symmetry. But for the AI coders on the call, I think that's what's really cool is that if you are building something like that out, you can create like a template in the background, like as you're fine tuning your specific like AI model, just like, hey, this project is specifically for like this outcome. Let's make sure that as someone's prompting you, you're constantly bringing the layers like in the exact format, the exact same way each time. And I think that would be pretty cool to see, but it requires a specific project to actually create that model and to create like those templates to get that out.
Like a trait image generator type thing.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know I didn't give my input on rug pulls, but not like a crypto rug pull, but I felt like I got AI rug pulled on a full projects that tried to do that.
Oh.
So when I was trying to like create from some of the NFT trait generators that are currently out there, I think they were just built too early. And so we need someone to take a look at the current models, create this, and launch it. So that way, you know, the new wave of NFTs are being created. They have like a creative space to rely on. That's reliable.
Yeah, I mean, like, just all of this stuff is really interesting to see where this sort of like crossover is shifted between what the machine can do and then where you want that human input, right? Because it's all moved, but it's just finding out where those gaps are. I mean, even this last session we did, and this session is a good example of that, right? Like you and Robin sort of like hacked together to kind of create these NFT generators, various things, and you got some outcomes, and there was a big variance on what it was. And then just like with a little bit more knowledge and like with these inputs from Jake, it was like, whoa, this thing, we actually have it. It's just we needed a little bit more human input up front that then has given us a much better result out the other end.
Yeah, and if you're curious, I love show and tell. So I'm going to show you what it was like basically to do that. So if I share my screen here, I need this. Okay. Oops. All right. So you have to rely on Photoshop. And so if you are relying on Photoshop and you wanted to, let's say, get this, you have to paste it inside of its own situation. You have to remove the background. You have to use like these tools. You have to know what these tools do to begin with. So there's a little bit of that. And then you can figure out like how to like delete everything and get to like the actual image that you're trying to get to. Okay, so I already did it wrong there. Let's see if we can do it better. And so you see how painful this is for a designer? Now, like someone who is a designer can go through this pretty easily and probably you know, get to what I'm trying to access faster than what I can. But you can already see that it's a pain.
Yeah. And how many of these trait files did you end up exporting?
So I ended up exporting, let's see, let's go to the trait files. Once I was in a groove, I just went ahead and just kept doing it. The backgrounds were easy. I felt very accomplished creating these backgrounds.
Nice.
The bodies, not so much. Removing all of the images or all of the accessories took a bit of time. But what I was able to do is just take one body, and then within here, I'm able to use some of these amazing, you know, hue changers to just simply change the color.
Oh, nice.
And so
nice.
Yeah, that made my life easier. But because of that, like one of the things that I wasn't able to do is some of the bodies here were different. And so like I wasn't able to get this one only because of time constraints. But maybe the NFT launch, we can have like different types of bodies here. But let's go through the rest of the traits that we created. I exported a few eyes. So I exported like some of the glasses and some of just like big eyes, and then the headpieces. As you can see here, there were some really cool headpieces. But as you already saw, I missed this amazing hat. I would have wanted a beanie. It reminds me of being in East Denver with everyone with their beanies. Like, this could have been the East Denver rarity situation going on. But anyway, so that's what I did. Like I didn't export like all of the specific traits, but with more time, it would have been possible to do it within Photoshop. But going back to like our original point that we're trying to make here is just like, it would be nice to not have to do this.
Yes.
I would love to upload these images somewhere to be like, hey, go ahead and create the layers from this image. Because it's much faster for a designer to create like the full end view than it is to like create each specific layer and then like change them up and like blend them together. In my mind, as I'm like was going through and creating these. So hopefully that gives you some insight into the world of what it was like creating all of this.
There's actually an entire branch of mathematics that deals with the combination of objects. It's, I think, combinatorics is what it's called. And there's actually an interesting story from when Pixar created WALL-E, right? They needed basically an army of robots, but they realized that creating one robot one by one to create this like massive, pile of robots was damn near impossible. And so what they started doing was exactly this, right? They took attributes and with those attributes created an endless combination of robots, right? It cut down the work by, probably years if you think about how much it takes to, build one robot. So fast forward to now, I'm sure like this technology is gonna, be invaluable for designers who are creating motion pictures.
Yeah. So if anyone's out there looking for a fun project to potentially do, the team here just presented one. But let me go ahead and stop presenting. Well, actually, we could. I think Scott, we'll probably have you present because it looks like
what are we up to?
We're ready to go. Jake, is that right?
Almost. Yeah. Yep. You can go ahead and share the link. Definitely recommend using the Sophon wallet. Really, really great experience. Very easy to create. Create it with your wallet. Create it with your social account. Great experience. And just makes things easier, interacting and transacting inside of the Sophon ecosystem.
Cool. So should I share the link from the Sophon wallet, or should I go to Mintify now? And what's the best way to sort of, go from here and try?
Yeah. I just dropped the link in our chat. We can share that with the community and everybody to go ahead and claim these 10 completely free Avail VIBECODE NFTs.
All right. Should we drop that into the Twitter thread here?
Let's do that.
All right. Now I'm gonna also try and do it live and see how we go. 1 second. Okay. So go to the link here.
Oh, how cute.
And then you sign in with your Sophon wallet right there.
Nice.
And then you'll get the I don't think viewers will be able to see, but he's getting a little pop-up to sign in with his Sophon wallet. And once that's completed, it'll take right back to the Launchpad page.
Yeah, so I've just clicked sign in with Sophon wallet. It's given me another code here to enter, and then I should be in.
Also, Jake, amazing design too on your side with the Mintify website.
Thank you. That's definitely no credit to me there. That's all our designer and our CEO, Evan.
I kind of don't want this to end. Like, don't log in. let's stay a bit here.
It's so beautiful, isn't it?
Right? It is. Yeah. Very fluid.
Cool. So I've signed in. I'm just signing the message to connect with Mintify, and I'm in now. This is very cool. All right, I'm eligible to mint, so I think I can just go ahead and mint one for free. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Hey, Scott. Just a quick thing, real quick. Is there any way we can pop up the minting link on the stream so people can see it? I guess people on YouTube might be having an issue.
It's in the link, so we can. I've shared it in the Twitter. I can also drop it into the YouTube.
Nice.
1 second. Drop it into the YouTube link.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, right now they're seeing the Sophon wallet pop up that's just saying to approve the transaction, and then it pretty much instantly mints.
That's amazing. And if you can't see the link directly within any of the other places, we have it now showing here. So you'll have to type it in, but the link is up on the screen.
Cool. So just signing the request here on the little pop-up window. Everything has been super straightforward and very, very smooth. And so until just I say that everything's going smooth, and now I may have created an issue by jumping around different windows, but let's see.
Yeah, I think there might be. Oh no, there we go. Okay. Yeah,
I'm
there
in.
it is. I'm in. The second window. That's perfect.
Beautiful.
Awesome. All right, minted. Okay, so I'll now go and see if we can go and log into Sophon again, or go back to my Sophon home. And I go into my wallet here, so I can see that I've minted it here, and
Let me make
boom.
sure the metadata is live. One moment.
Here it is.
Look at that.
Can you look at also at the like metadata? If you go down, if you click on it.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we are tracking like automatically all the metadata, so you can see like everything, and that you add the first token ID, so you were able to snipe the first one.
Nice. There we go.
Love it.
So that was crazy. That was creating an account on Sophon with Google, right? Just as easy. Then going on Mintify and basically just minting it, which is, yeah, way, way easier.
Yeah, without need to have like anything on your account. Like the previous experience for users will be to discover that they need ETH. So having to bridge it from a centralized exchange or to buy it, or like maybe they will send USDC and then they realize that they need ETH as well to swap or to mint. And now in this case, you were able just to do things from scratch without with just a Google login or with just an email.
Okay, Mintify paired with Sophon is definitely an amazing pair here, guys. Like, this is absolutely rad. Seeing how like easy it was to like use the prompts and like create the NFTs, and then have Jake like put them on the platform, and then we're able to mint it. Like, I think this is the first time we've got through a full flow in one session. So,
It was pretty damn smooth too. Excuse my language, but absolutely love it. I mean, you know, pretty much start to finish with just like 2 or 3 prompts and a couple button clicks, uploading to IPFS. Sophon instantly, ingested the metadata and everything. So it's perfect.
Yeah. So hopefully this inspires someone out in there in the community to like start creating more NFTs. And you know the platform to reach out to do it.
Definitely. Yeah, huge thanks to Sophon and Mintify on this, and also Christine for all your hard work behind the scenes there, separating those layers. This has easily been probably the smoothest VIBECODE session we've ever done. So hopefully our next one is a lot more chaotic, because we can't get people too used to this idea of everything going so smoothly.
Yeah, Scott, you promised us something would break.
Yeah.
We can introduce some complexity if you want. You want to increase the supply to like 10,000 or something? I'm just kidding. No, we would need some more traits and some more photoshopping to do that. But yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
This is fun. I think we've raised expectations though, guys. We now have to complete every session. So
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Nice, guys. Cool. Is there anything else that we wanted to cover off today, or is it that's pretty much our session wrapped and done? Yeah.
I think that's
Maybe
it.
I can give a tiny bit of alpha if you close this pop-up.
Yeah. Perfect.
And
Alpha time.
alpha, very small alpha, like just what it's cooking. And if you open your profile icon on, yes, exactly on the left. So this is where, like this is going to be like your profile page. This is where you can invite friends to Sophon. You can see your address. You will be able to claim your own Sophon ID. And we have already badges of things that you can try out. Do you want to be early bird? Do you want an NFT collector? Do you want to be a token holder? And this is where you can see all your activity and history on the chain. And we have our ranking system, like with a weekly leaderboard where you can compete with other users on how much you're interacting on Sophon and how many points you're getting. And soon, I think tomorrow, you will be able to see also your NFT collection here.
I think I can see this guy down here, which is maybe the activity thing, the activity feed. Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, sweet. Like you can see the the fact that it was minted and that you already see the NFT itself, but you will have a collection tab where you can see all your NFT in your possession.
Very cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, this is awesome, guys.
So it seems like, just a quick thing, it seems like folks are having trouble. They're getting there. Anything we could do to help them with that?
What error are they getting?
It says error processing order invalid parameters are provided to the RPC method. Double check you have provided the correct parameters.
Huh. Are they using the Sophon wallet?
Great question. I know I'm seeing the comments in the chat. If folks listening could chime in, are you guys using Sophon or?
I can see someone said they're minting with MetaMask. So should we recommend creating a Sophon wallet?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend the Sophon wallet, especially if you intend on doing more on Sophon. As I said before, I mean, it makes everything so much easier.
Do you know which wallet is doing this?
Yeah, it was with MetaMask, I think.
Okay. MetaMask should work with like there are some wallets that don't work with MetaMask, but MetaMask should. So this is strange.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll keep active on the chat here on Twitter. I'm not sure if the YouTube chat is still going to remain live after the session. It might not. So if you have any questions, jump onto the actual Twitter post of the session. So if you go onto Avail Projects Twitter page, you'll see that this is automatically going to be posted as a live stream, and under that there'll be some comments. So just chuck in any questions you have or any issues you have minting NFTs, and we can help assist you there. But yeah, just reiterating, recommend just creating a Sophon wallet. If you missed it earlier, it took no time at all. I signed up with it with an email. It was very straightforward. So once you do that, everything's in your home base there. You can just view everything and then log into Mintify with your Sophon wallet, and you're away and ready to go. So all the best. Any last words from anyone before we wrap up here?
No, I'd just love to say, definitely check out Sophon. Definitely check out Avail, our incredible hosts here, and check out Mintify as well. All three of us doing some, really great things all over the space. And there's, not only are there interesting things to check out, but lots of fun things as well. If you're a gamer or a collector, or just exploring Web3.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Guys, nice
Nice.
vibing with you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.